Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 32 properties. That is a pace of 900 listings a month. And you can see what we talked about yesterday with the amount of inventory that's coming out, and especially comparing that even to last year. So I'll go through pretty quickly. This one on Millside is, this building's kind of interesting because it doesn't have central air. It's pretty well built. They're putting some improvements in. The condo fees are $638, but it also includes everything. Cable TV, hydro, heat, everything's included. So that's good. So the other thing that this one has, that there's another building across the street at 100 Millside. The thing that this one has is actual balconies, versus 100 Millside does not have those balconies. So you've got a great central location. You don't have as many amenities as 100 Millside. It's a bit of an older building, but there's kind of pluses and cons, pros and cons to both. So this is the penthouse. The last one that sold was kind of mid 300s a few months ago. And this one looks like it's a little bit smaller than that, but it's in way better shape. So 671 Woodward and this next one here on Childs, they're both surface parking, meaning you can't see any garage. What that does is it allows a bit more of a square layout, but it also means you only have one parking space. So for the families with two parking spaces, you're left pretty much to use the visitor parking, and there's usually a finite amount of that. And it doesn't go over too well if a lot of the other residents see that, because it's just not fair for everyone else. So there may be a possibility of renting a parking space, but you'd think that most people living in a suburban community would have at least one car. On occasion, that's not true. I mean, something like this on Childs is not far from the mall, and you could potentially get most of the things that you need just by walking. So we've got the new Courtyards on Main building at 1460 Main, and it's $1,000 to $1,199. I don't know exactly how big the unit is. Obviously, an exact possession date. We talked earlier last week about condo fees and how new buildings, there's really no gauge on how much the condo fees are. I feel much more comfortable buying a condo that has 5 years behind it, that you have some kind of an expense history. These ones, they just basically say, okay, we're going to throw a dart at a board and choose a certain condo rate. And the more deficient they are, which they always are, they don't over budget. And the builders sell on low condo fees too. But the lower they are, the more they need to make up in the future too. So $525 for this one. And then you have one here at Costigan facing green space for $499. The other one, the Courtyards one, is holding back on offers. This one is not. So you don't have garbage chutes in this building, but it's still a pretty good building. And then you've got another one here on the 6th floor for $489. Same size, similar condo fees. And the building is old enough that it does have a track record of history. Common areas, pretty much the same thing. This one's in a bit of a quieter subdivision. And here's the other thing too. So those back onto green space, this one here, that's what you're facing, a parking lot. It's not that good. I think they're going to hold back and they're going to fall right on their face. So this one on McDowell, here's the thing. Brand new furnace, brand new air conditioner. Here's the problem with that. You read the broker comments and you realize that those are rented equipment. So you've got $158 a month that you're paying for this stuff, which in practical speak, if you had a mortgage payment of $158 spread out over 25 years at today's interest rates, it's the equivalent of probably $30,000 to $40,000. And so if you assume that equipment, and obviously there's a capital cost to buy it, and the other thing that happens if they're in the agreement, if you could buy both of those things for $8,000, the buyout is like $12,000. It's a big ripoff, and they're almost always What used to happen in multiple offers is the buyer would just take it and say, well, I guess I have to take it. But in a more balanced market, that's a negotiating point, and there's not many buyers that want to assume that agreement. Sellers will say, well, everything's done, and if it needs fixing, it doesn't matter. It's a lot of money. $158 times 12 times, a 10 or 15-year contract is a huge amount of money. Anyway, I could see that being a real problem. I can see it's almost like really buying this home for like $660, $670, but people don't think like that. They think, oh, $158. I mean, your taxes, it's pretty much the equivalent of a second property tax bill, which is kind of rotten. So 628 Azleton, not the sexiest front shot. I guess it shows that it's a semi. It could look like a townhouse from here. Anyway, beautiful. I really like this one. I think the finishes look great. I think it's got a decent layout. My personal favorite part, that's a nice powder room by the way, but the basement has this cool office space with some stonework on the wall. Right there, I think, now it's a little messy obviously with all the stuff here, but I think that would be a fun space to work. I think it's just visually very nice to look at. So they tried to, they had this one listed at $789, and for whatever reason didn't work out, so they're now down to $699. We did the same thing on Zielinski, and we managed to squeeze an offer out of it. And I would argue this one even has a few more features than Zielinski. As much as we love the houses that we sell, it's bigger, the basement's finished, and so on. But there's one at 3078s right now that dropped their price. They're at $799 down to $699, and again, things didn't work out on that end. So it's the buyers in this range. It's really funny right now. It's very difficult. And a home like this that's very nice, they can still struggle to get buyers. That's just what we're seeing right now. 714 Tuxford, we've seen this model. This is 3,700 square feet plus a finished basement. We've seen this model sell numerous times for way more than what they're listed for. Backs onto green space. Somebody should have consulted with them before they did whatever the heck colored paint job this is. 64 Playfair, 1.2388. Kind of a funny number, and that's the little sneak of the pool there. I think that having another view of the actual pool would have been good, especially because there's 14 pictures that they've used. You could put a gallery of 20 on Treb, so they had 6 other pictures to blow your mind with a great pool shot. There's not that many pools in the new area, so that is a unique feature. Now I'm going backwards on pictures, and these are some pretty regal looking rooms. I mean, I don't know if animal skins and it's just I don't know if they kind of appeal to today's buyer. I would worry about the weight of this thing. I know it's got a mat here. Just make sure there's no damage on the floors. And once again, there's sort of this regal kind of look that's going on in these rooms. It's pretty bold, right? I don't think a lot of buyers that I work with would walk into here and go, perfect, that's exactly what I want. So one of the things we do, by the way, Sandra, my client, I'll give her a shout out. We're going to be selling her house very soon, and it's absolutely beautiful. But we do these little moving cards for clients, and it says, we're moving. Hey, it's Sandra and Oliver, and here's our new address. And things like that you find throughout our process in working with us to buy or sell a home. Just because we just want it to be a celebration. We want it to be fun, and we want you to have little things along the way that put a smile on your face. So anyway, if that sounds like the kind of experience you want, reach out to us. We'd love, love, love to help you. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.